Halloween is finally here, and with the holiday comes several spooky traditions. Things like dressing up, trick-or-treating, and carving jack-o'-lanterns.
And we want to know, what is your favorite Halloween tradition? You can vote right now at WBIR.com/vote or on the WBIR app.
And while you do, we want to know, where do those traditions come from? A little history lesson for you. Historians say Halloween is a mix of pagan, Celtic, and Catholic traditions from the Middle Ages, all of which were meant to remember the dead. That's what led to spooky costumes. People dressed up to honor the spirits and scare off the demons. And the Irish were actually the first people to start wearing costumes to celebrate Halloween.
They were also the first to start trick-or-treating, and when they immigrated to the U.S., they brought with them that tradition. At first, trick-or-treating didn't involve candy. Children would go door to door asking for food and money in exchange for songs and prayers on behalf of the dead.
And what about those spooky jack-o'-lanterns? Historians tell us that in the early 19th century, children in Europe would carve faces into vegetables like beets and turnips, during the holiday season. Kids here, though, in America, they picked up the idea and they found pumpkins easier to carve and turned the idea into a way to prank neighbors. By the late 19th century, jack-o'-lanterns had naturally transitioned to Halloween decorations.
And we asked your favorite, and so far, carving pumpkins is indeed on top. You can keep voting, and we'll take another look at those results later in the newscast. We don't have bobbing for apples, but that was a favorite at our house.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm all about the candy. Trick-or-treating all the way.